This is our new segment. It's going to be top Super Bowl contenders. Our power rankings are our top Super Bowl contenders. So not the standings, right? Not the standings, not who's going to win the division, like the top Super Bowl contenders. As you can see, Hype's got the Packers there 7 times, followed by his hometown Broncos. So pretty on brand, right? You think that's correct for Hype? We picked it for him.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah, I think that's what he would put.
Micah Parsons is going to be 1, 2, and 3, and then it was going to be Green Bay after
that. Yeah, just Micah Parsons is the top Super Bowl contender. All right, so let's go through ours. So I
just want one note. Somebody's trying to hose me here because I had the Rams above the Seahawks, but whatever.
Oh, you did have the Rams above the Seahawks. I'm sorry I put that wrong. Okay, I thought you said Seahawks first. Okay, no, that's fine. Well, let's agree to that on that. Now, I just picked the Seahawks to go in there and beat them, and I still think the Seahawks are going to win the division. But in the playoffs, Sam Darnold, I don't trust him at all. I don't trust Sam Darnold in the playoffs one iota. In the regular season, yes, he's a fantastic quarterback. In the playoffs, I have yet to see Sam Darnold do anything, and last year he was an absolute mess. So until I see Sam Darnold do something in the playoffs, I cannot, in my heart of hearts, put the Seahawks that high, even though I think they're going to have more wins than the Rams. I think legitimately the Rams are the most dangerous team in the NFC. Sean McVay has proven he can win a Super Bowl. He's been to 2. He went with Goff when Goff wasn't good. You know, the defense is good. Sean McVay has proven himself. Stafford has proven himself. Like I said, Devontae Adams is great. And that defense is the second most stingiest defense in the NFL right now. They get to the quarterback. I just think the Rams are the class of the NFC right now, even though I think Seattle comes away with more wins than them. I just trust the Rams in the playoffs a lot more. Is that what you're thinking too about Rams number 1?
Yeah, 1,000,000% right there. It's just the head coach, the quarterback, they've already done it. Devontae Adams, they brought him in to take him that step up, and I don't think even they expected Stafford to be able to elevate his game this much.
Yeah, well, or my main concern with the Rams has always been health. The health of Stafford, the help of Kupp, who's now gone, and the help of Nakua, who again is injured this year. But dude, getting Devontae Adams, this is one thing I'll say about Devontae, he does not miss football games. Devontae does not miss football games, and that is exactly what the Rams need, is someone who can stay healthy for Stafford to throw to, and it's made a massive difference, man. Like, really, it's made a massive difference, and we all know Stafford can play, and so I'm really happy that we agree, because I think the Rams right now are definitely the most dangerous team to win the Super Bowl. That's just how I'm feeling, especially with that defense, Now, I got the Lions, too, ahead of the Bills, Eagles, and Chiefs because, again, Dan Campbell and his, bite their kneecaps, roll the dice, go for it on 4th down. He's had a couple playoffs that didn't work out for him, but I feel like it could work out for him at any time. The Lions are going to go on a run at some point. I feel like they have to make a Super Bowl, and I wonder if this year, even having the little bit of adversity with losing Ben Johnson, but having a somewhat healthier defense. I know a lot of their defensive backs are hurt, but some will come back. I just feel like the Lions are almost due. And I hate to say that, us as NFC North fans don't want to see the Lions be successful, but I feel like they're almost due to get to the Super Bowl this year.
I still don't mind the Lions just because they're still the little brother that, for so long you didn't really worry about. I know that Hype doesn't care for their fan base. I don't spend time online. The only Lions fan I know, love you, Boney. I know they're good people. And until I like the head coach, I like their coach. They don't really have any head cases that I can't stand. So I like the Lions. I like their defensive coordinator. He's a lot of fun to watch on the sideline. It looked like they already handpicked the heir apparent to Aaron Glenn. They haven't really stepped off, losing Aaron Glenn.
Real Lions fans are legit as hell. Lions fans are dope. The ones that went away when they sucked and then came back when they were good, I don't give a crap about your opinion at all. I know it was brutal to be a fan, but you just coming back on the bandwagon, even though you were a Lions fan the whole time, is BS, man. No, the real Lions fans that went there when the Lions are terrible, that have cheered for them for years, like I legitimately respect and love those Lions fans. It's just that now that they're good again, all the crappy Lions fans are back. So yeah, F those guys. But there you go, Dave. I fixed it. So now you got the Rams.
Much better. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and you got Seahawks at 2. So you're feeling Seahawks at 2. That is correct, right?
Seahawks at 2. Yeah, it was a different iteration of the Legion of Boom. It's just that defense. The key to beating Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, the key to beating Tom Brady in the Super Bowl is being able to get pressure with 4, and that's what Seattle has going. Nick Emenwari, as we already alluded to before, he's a cornerback, he's a safety, he's a linebacker, he's whatever the hell you need to be, so he can be a matchup nightmare. You can try to put up whatever schema out there, and they can counteract with their cover 3, their cover 6. They have a very versatile defense. I understand the questioning how much you really trust the Seattle quarterback. But again, adding Rashid Shaheed just adds another dimension to them. I'm really excited about this team. Defense wins championships. Why the hell not?
Yeah,
I like him more than Russell Wilson.
Dude, and I feel you.
Russell Wilson's first couple of years, I'd take Sam Darnold over Russell Wilson.
The Rams are my sleeper, and I love them, but I can't trust Darnold in the playoffs until I see it. I just can't do it. So I get where you're coming from. Okay, so now you've got Patriots, I've got Bills at 3. So I still think the Bills are going to find a way to go on a winning streak, whether they win the division or not. I trust Josh Allen. I don't necessarily trust their coach, and I don't necessarily trust their defense, where I trust Vrabel a lot more. But I think when it comes down to it, like I got to go with the guy that I've seen do well in the playoffs, and Josh Allen over Drake May. So that's why I've got the Bills there. I've got a lot of questions and concerns about the Bills, but just their offense, again, running game is good. Josh Allen is good, and their defense can play well sometimes until they go play Miami. So like, I still think the Bills are a legitimate threat here. But why do you got the Patriots 3?
The commentators talked about it last night during Thursday Night Football, where they said Drake May doesn't come off as a 22-year-old, 23-year-old quarterback. They said he comes off like a 6-year vet, where he's just calm. He doesn't really get phased. Again, go back to their offensive coordinator. He schemes them up pretty well. I think their quarterback, he's actually, it's a strange juxtaposition where I think he plays to where he's mature enough, but he's also young and dumb enough to where he doesn't know any better, that he doesn't know that, this guy, this is Josh Allen and whatnot. He has all this playoff experience.
Right.
Josh Allen still hasn't been to a Super Bowl.
I understand.
That's just it. And that's where it's just Josh Allen knows how to lose in the playoffs. Drake May doesn't know how to lose in the playoffs because he's never been there. I believe their head coach has everyone where they want to be. I believe, and again, you can say Vrabel hasn't been to the Super Bowl too.
He has not.
As the head coach, but he knows what kind of a locker room you need to have for it, because he's been there as he's been a team captain and whatnot. And I think he's kind of creating that culture. Nobody expected him to be here. They're playing on house money. They got nothing to lose. They can be fearless. They can be reckless.
I agree with you. And that, I guess that's kind of why they feel a little bit like Washington did last year, even though they're playing better than them. And even though Vrabel is a pretty well-seasoned coach, I just have a few issues with some of the just the stats. Like they don't get to the quarterback very well, right? They do get a decent amount of turnovers. They do have some decent defensive backs. They can run the ball, but they haven't run it great. I mean, it's like I feel like the Patriots are playing at like top form right now. And I feel like there's going to be, before the season ends, that's going to scale down just a little bit. I just feel like a little bit of a reality check is coming. And that's not an insult to the Patriots or anything like that. I feel like you said, they've been almost playing on house money. They've been almost playing free and careless and whatnot. And I feel like a little bit of that's going to come back down to earth. So, but I still have them on here. I have them 7. So I agree with you. I think they've got a good chance. I can't put them ahead of Kansas City. I can't put them ahead of like some of these teams that I've seen do successful, or players I've seen be successful in the playoffs. Right.
Sure. But yeah, as far as the Commanders comparison, that was all predicated upon the athletic talent of Jaden Daniels. Right. That was his legs. That was his arms. He was the one-man wrecking crew. And they had an old age defense, which, they played way far, they exceeded their expectations and whatnot. But I think the way that New England constructed their team, they did defense first. They brought in the defenders. Like you said, they're not getting as much pressure as we'd like to see right now, but they're still doing good enough. And I just think that Drake May is playing within the offense. He's been playing really well. It's completely different than Jane Daniels. I just get a different vibe. Jane was exciting. This one is just like, all right, they're cool, calm, and collected. This seems like it's kind of a machine firing up. So
yeah, no. See, here's the thing. So the New England is like 14th in sacks. So they're not terrible. They have the same amount of sacks as the Packers, right? Which, again, their defense is playing well, but New England has allowed a considerable amount more yards and points just because so New England has a couple decent players on defense, but like, I don't know if they have that game changer guy. So I worry about them a little bit in the playoffs defensively, actually more than Drake May. But they're still a contender. So let's talk about we've got the Eagles and Chiefs. That's obvious. Everyone knows the Eagles and Chiefs are going to be on there. I got them a little higher. Like I said, I'm kind of going more on previous playoff experience, but I stuck the Ravens in there and I didn't put the Colts in. And I know you want to call me a Colts hater, and that's fine. I'm actually not a Colts hater. I am still a Daniel Jones hater, though. I will own that. I will put that badge on my shirt. I still think Daniel Jones is trash. And yes, I've seen him play very well. And yes, I've seen him go to a franchise that knew what to do with him and is using him correctly. But I still believe that Daniel Jones is a product of Jonathan Taylor, 100%. More so than he even was the season he was good when Saquon Barkley was blowing it up in New York, right? Like, he still has that terrible streak in him, or that like oops ball streak in him. I don't know how to explain it with Daniel Jones, but like, I would be terrified to have Daniel Jones as my quarterback. Like, you could have the best roster in the NFL at every position. And if Daniel Jones is your quarterback, I'd still bet against you in the playoffs until proven otherwise. Hopefully you do. And hopefully you guys beat the Chiefs or somebody, Daniel Jones.
Why did Brian Dable get fired?
Because he couldn't win football games. He made a lot of mistakes, dude.
He found a young quarterback who could scramble, and he had him run a lot to bail him out because he couldn't scheme up enough.
Yeah, because he couldn't scheme up enough.
And this is the second time that he did it. That's what I believe was a big part of the problem with Daniel Jones the first time in New York. That's why Daniel Jones, he had one good season, and that's why he wound up failing, because he got a little bit of gun shy. Shane Steichen, on the other hand, he's calling a balanced offense to where, Daniel Jones doesn't have to do the scrambling. He's no longer, looking around, afraid of getting hit and everything else. He's able to play within the offense. He doesn't have to try to go out and make plays. I think, and that's where I think the difference is. Dable wanted him to go out there, make plays to make his offense work. Steichen is saying play within the offense. You don't have to, try to go out scramble and whatnot. And I totally understand your frustration why you don't trust it. I just think this is a completely different situation. I think this is it's more a function of the coach finally getting a decent quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but it's a good coach getting a good quarterback finally.
Now, hold on. I'll agree with you. I think Daniel Jones is a good starting NFL quarterback in the right system. I say this all the time. Quarterbacks are more a product of their system and their coach than they are of their own talent level, other than like the top tier guys, right?
Like Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Shut up.
I had to get it in there somewhere.
No, I just like, for example, I think Tua would be unbelievable in San Francisco. I think he would be almost unstoppable because of what he does and what they ask the quarterback to do, right? Whereas like a player like Jordan Love, who I love, do you know what I'm saying? But he has his issues. If he goes to Cleveland, he would be a train wreck. Do you understand? So like, it's all about coach. It's all about scheme. It's all about system. And a lot of it's about franchise. So I think Daniel Jones is a legitimate starting NFL quarterback. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is I think Daniel Jones, though, has a little bit of that just, I don't know what to do in this moment in him, and he makes dumb mistakes. And I need to see him work that out. And I thought maybe he did until I saw the Pittsburgh game. And then he had 3 more turnovers last week, and Jonathan Taylor had to bail him out. So, like, I'm still very skeptical about this Colts offense outside of Jonathan Taylor, right? Outside of Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, who's the MVP? Okay, now my other team that I put in there instead was the Ravens. And yes, they have a lot of problems. And yes, they've never been to a Super Bowl. And yes, they always lose to the Chiefs. But I would trust Lamar in the playoffs to win more than I would the Colts. And I know they always choke in the playoffs. The Ravens always choke in the playoffs. Okay. But like, I don't know. I almost feel like out of respect, I have to put them in there because they just have this legacy of finding a way to win games. And, not recently, but I still think the Ravens, with all of this adversity. So think about this, Dave. Last year, the Ravens just blew through people. They had the best offense in the league. They had a great defense. They won a ton of football games. They roll into the playoffs and, they choke. This year, everything goes wrong. They have all these injuries. They're going through adversity. They have to fight every single week to make sure that they make the playoffs. I think that could be the best thing that happens to this team. And if they get in the playoffs and they're playing hot, I think they have a better chance of extending that good play this year than they did in years past, because it was almost, I'm not saying easy for them, but they just didn't have the same type of adversity. They're fighting from the ground up. And I think that's really good for them. And it could be really good for them in the playoffs. So I had to throw the Ravens in here.
That might be the most sensible thing I've heard you say in 25 years. I can't argue against it.
That's pretty pathetic. All right.
That actually really does make a lot of sense, because they're used to being up here, and you have a different work ethic. I think that absolutely is a rock solid. I love that.
All right, nice. Get your Colts off of there. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, that was our Super Bowl contenders. We'll do this again in maybe a few weeks. We're not necessarily going to do this every Friday, just because it would be, it's kind of boring.
It's an end of quarter thing, I think.
Yeah. I feel like maybe, we'll do this, again in December next month.